What's up, potato bug?
What's up, groundhog?
We did about 7 days worth of yard work today in about 3 hours. Not even, probably in like 2 hours.
No, it was longer than that. I
Oh.
I got to your place at 4 and left at 6:30.
Well, no, you came at like three because remember I wasn't ready yet.
Oh, you're right. You're right. So it's 3.5 hours. Year two, Jessica doesn't want grass.
I know, you guys. I pulled out. I covered my front yard so that I have just like plants and wood chips and no grass to mow. And it's about 10 times as much work as having grass. And all this shit grows in between the plants and it's a giant fucking mess. And we pulled it all out and we put down new wood chips and there's still more to do. Well, wood chips wise, we pulled everything though.
If you had grass, we could have mowed it in 20 minutes.
I know. It's really gonna look great one day, but it's gonna take a while.
Like I said, I won't live to see it, but it'll look beautiful when it's
You're
done.
gonna live.
It's that whole thing, you plant a tree not because you want to sit in its shade, but it's for other generations to enjoy.
I did not do that to my yard for other generations to enjoy. I did not. I want to look like an overgrown magical witch house, but I don't want weeds and grass. I want plants, but you have to like get it into a program and it takes a while.
It'll look really, really fucking fantastic when we finally decide to sell our houses and buy like an old farm somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the year it'll look great. And then the city of Royal Oak will just run a bulldozer over the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll be in Sweden by then, eating food that isn't poison and sitting by a lake.
Eating lingonberries.
Whatever they got there.
Smoked smelt.
We'll walk and get bread every day, get some fruits.
I think there's a lot of like salted fish there.
Gross. They can keep that. We'll eat just pastries and bread every day. But yeah, I feel absolutely crippled already. The next 2 days, I'm literally not going to be able to move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was already mentally destroyed from my father being here for the past week.
Yeah.
And then my physical manifestation has now evaporated as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we bent down and stood up and bent down and stood up like 300 million times.
But your dad came and brought us sandwiches and drinks.
Yeah, that was cute. He brought us Oak House Deli and we ate Sammy's on the porch.
And my dad sat in the minivan and watched us work and took naps.
And suggested everything that we were about to do. Like we didn't think of it already. It's like, you guys should pull that out and then put mulch over it so it doesn't grow back. And we're like, we're doing it.
That's what we're doing.
We're doing it.
I was surprised Toad didn't bark at us more.
I know, I am too, because he barked all day before we started. So he was probably out of it.
He was so happy to not have you in the house.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
He loves me.
He's a big boy, though. He likes his alone time. He's got to do big boy things without his mom.
He came to work with me on Thursday.
He's a teenage boy. He needs his alone time without his mom around so he can do teenage boy things.
Like what?
Like touch himself and stuff.
No, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He's a pure nug. But anyway, yeah, thank you for helping. And we did a really good job and it looks really nice.
No problemo.
Mm-hmm.
Except tomorrow will be a problem.
I know. Mine's gonna be, I'm a 2-day sore person. So tomorrow I'm going to be a little bit sore. Tuesday I'm going to be so fucking sore that I can't move.
And I'm like 70. So, I mean, imagine me.
I'm not 70.
But I can report to you because one of the things I was going to do with my father today is he really has wanted to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And so Sunday matinee, I got the big reclining heated chairs in the theater that shows subtitles on the screen so he doesn't have to worry about hearing it. And I can report to everyone that the first 45 minutes of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is really good. And then my dad was too cold and we had to leave.
Your dad is a menace. Movies are so expensive, and if somebody made me leave after 45 minutes, no.
Well, the good thing it wasn't too expensive because it was the matinee price.
Oh, nice.
I spent twice as much on popcorn and Slurpees than I did on the tickets.
Well, that's what I mean, like the whole experience, and then you leave in 45 minutes. Like, that's not good. That would piss me off.
Yeah, it was still $45.
Yeah, he should give you that money back.
Oh, I'll get it back.
He'll leave it to you and his will.
He's going to outlive me.
No, he's not.
I'll be gone. He'll be in this house. You can come over and visit him.
No. No. If he stays much longer, I'm just gonna assume you faked your own death and changed your identity and moved away.
Shh, don't talk about it.
I know.
Yesterday, I took him on a 4-hour car drive. We went through all of downtown Detroit, all of Corktown, all of Grosse Pointe, all of East Point, all of St. Clair Shores.
Why?
Because he wanted to see stuff that he hasn't seen in a while.
Nice bonding time for you.
I have got him turned on to Slurpees, though.
Yeah, who doesn't love a Slurpee?
He never had a Slurpee before, and I started giving him Slurpees, and he loves them.
You got us Slurpees today when we worked on the lawn.
That's because Slurpees make things better.
They really gave me a second wind, I'll tell you. Between that and the sandwiches, I wouldn't have made it through without them. That's for sure. So Thursday was the 3-year anniversary of Bean passing, and I fucking mentally wrecked myself all day. I like got up before I was even out of bed during my soft fucking wake up.
I knew you would do it.
I know. Why did I do it? I literally watched the last couple of videos I made of him the night before I put him down. Bro, I just have to, I'm not going to cry. I would have cried because we were supposed to record the other day. I would have sobbed the whole fucking episode. So it's a good thing we waited. But anyway, so here's the thing. I've touched on it before, but I haven't really went into it. But listen, there is the thing in your fucking brain that stops you from seeing things that are traumatic for you. I'm telling you right now, he looked like he was 5 years old until the second I put him down in my brain. And I'm not saying, oh, at any phase in his life, he was handsome to me. Or like that thing where you live with somebody and they get older, they get skinnier, they get fatter, and you don't fucking notice because it happens so slow. I'm not saying that I still loved how he looked. I'm saying I literally physically could not see it with my fucking eyeballs.
Yeah.
I had no idea what he looked like. So now when I look at these videos, he looks so bad. And I don't even know how to put it into words how he didn't look like that to me. He didn't fucking look like that. So the first thing I want to say is A, thank you for never fucking looking in my face and telling me that he was ready, because I literally wouldn't have believed you at all. Not for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, the thing that I realized was, you know how when old people have been together since they were fucking 18 years old, and the man will say, she still looks like she did the day I met her. That's not a fucking figure of speech. He can't see it. They can't see it out of their fucking eyeballs, and they still look exactly the same as when they met.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah. That is, the perception of reality is wild. Wild.
I know. Swear. Like something in your brain keeps it locked, where in a place that is perfect for you and good for you, and you literally can't see.
Well, your brain turns it off.
There's no way. I'm telling you right now, like, I swear, even when we went, and even when we got his leg taken off, he looked terrible, and I couldn't fucking see it. And yes, I have like partial guilt about it, but also I got another 2 wonderful years with him, and we went on trips, and I'm sure he had fun, and I'm sure he wanted to be with me every second that he was with me. But like, it was like a fucking hologram. I'm telling you, like, he looked 5 until the day he left me. And now when I see like literally pictures of his last few years, I'm like, I never would have believed if somebody was like, hey, you need to really take a look at your dog. I wouldn't have seen it. It wouldn't have registered in my fucking eyeballs in my brain.
Yes. All of what you're saying is completely understandable, and I get it. One of the things that makes it, for you, in that experience, harder to recognize it is that I can tell you, as a person who wasn't Bean's owner, that what made it harder to recognize that he was aging or getting sick is that he was always Bean.
Yep.
Like he was super fucking jacked to do stuff.
Yep. I know the videos that I watched, he was literally like barking at himself in the mirror the night before. Like he had lung cancer. He could barely breathe, but he was still being a spunky monkey.
Yeah.
I know. So I thought he was fine. And he was. I know I did it. I probably could have waited longer than I did, but I knew it was time. So I fucking did it. But it's wild. It's literally wild. And I guarantee that there's like people that have been together forever and their brain is locked when that person was, 20 years old or 25 years old,
My dad constantly talks about the first time he saw my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I am 100% sure that is how she always looked to him. And like he has mentioned now, like looking at pictures of her and not realizing that she was as sick as she was.
Literally. there is something, some chemical or something in your brain that's feeding your, like, covering for you, like literally guarding your brain and your heart so that you live in this existence that is good for, like, is safe for you, so you don't like melt down and die.
So just know, I'll tell you when you look like garbage.
Oh god. You already do, and I'm not even half dead yet.
I expect you to do the same for me.
I will, but I probably won't see you like that, and you won't see me like that because we love each other, even though we hate each other, but we love
That's
each
true.
other.
That is true.
I know. I literally don't hate you.
But I do look at pictures of you from when I first met you, and I realize you look different.
I know. Well, that was the other thing that was happening because when I was watching those videos of Bean, I was looking at pictures of myself and I'm like, damn, why don't people ever realize like how nice you look when you're young and you think you look like shit and you look so good, and then you get older and you're like, you don't appreciate it when you have it.
I talk about it all the time. I knew when I was in my prime. I was very lucky about it. I had a good, solid 4 years of being in my prime and knowing it. And I lived like I knew it wasn't going to last forever.
I never know. I've always think I look like fucking Adrian Brody. I hate my nose. I hate my fucking face. I hate my body. I could think of a million things I hate about myself. And then when you look back and you're like, dang, I should have fucking did some shit with that.
That's what I mean. Like, I knew somehow or another, I was self-aware to know that, like, this is the best it gets. I look back at that time period, at the things that I wrote, and I was like, oh, I was smart. I was smarter than I am now.
Yeah.
Like, everything was firing on all cylinders.
I know. It's crazy. I think about this a lot, like different phases in your life and like how you gain so much fucking knowledge as you get older. And it's like, if there was a way to like have that life experience when you were younger, like you would like rule the fucking world.
Of course.
You know, like if I don't know, like even if I was like 16 and I know everything I know now, like I would do all of the things. And we have done all the things. Like I'm sure there's a lot, you know what I mean? Like
Right, but the thing is, I mean, the sacrifice, the take and give of that situation is that because you don't know that stuff, you do a whole bunch of fucked up things that give you the experience you have when you're 30 years old.
I know, I just wish there was more time. I wish you could like hit a button and start over, but have all of the things that you've learned and be like, okay, I know I don't like this. Don't do this. Don't go there. Don't do this. Don't waste your time on that. Don't work too long at that shitty fucking job.
But you would also tell yourself, like, oh, if I hop that fence, I'm probably going to snag my leg and get cut, and then I have to go to the doctor. But when you're 15 or 16, you're like, fuck it, I'm going over that fence.
I know, it's tough. Life is crazy. Being all existential, but yeah, it was a tough day. But yeah, that's why I brought Toad to work with me because I was like, you're not staying here without me. I'm not going to work without you. I need dog love today.
And he was a good Toad.
He was a good Toad. The clients I had that day were super dog people, and they loved that he was there.
Has anyone ever been mad that Toad is there?
No. I literally keep notes in my appointment notes if they've said out loud that they're okay, that I can bring my dog. Also, the other thing is like Bean's birthday is like this coming Friday too. Like his death day and his birthday are very close together, so it's just like an emotional time. But I know he's always by me, but I know like even like during these times he's like more by me or more he's hanging out. Oh, I forgot to tell you one cute thing too. The day on his passing day, when I was watching his fucking videos and spiraling, you know how, and I post them in my Instagram story all the time, you know how Toad barks at every fucking animal, wants to be friends with everyone. There's a horse on TV, a cow on TV, he wants to be their fucking friend. If anybody walks by, he barks, anything. So that morning I was playing the videos, and I told you the night before, the video of Bean, he barked fucking the whole video, and Toad was just sitting there, and I kept waiting for him to start barking, and I looked at him and he was so peaceful. I'm like, like the look he gave me was what I hear that guy all the time.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like he wasn't always, usually when there's a dog bark on my phone, he looks around like it's fucking outside.
Right.
But when he heard Bean's bark, I swear he had this look like it was so familiar. And I was like, that was fucking
He's
crazy.
like, oh, it's just that guy.
I know, like he hears him. It was so sweet.
Because of some dreams that you've had in the past that we've discussed on this podcast.
Yep.
I was reading a book. I won't give the name of it right now. I might later. The author is slightly problematic. It's an old book. It's from the turn of the century.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose what you want to.
Yeah, but it's a book about the different levels of existence, and there's a level that talks about when animals pass, and he says in that portion, most animals return back to this kind of animalistic state where it's just kind of a big miasma of animal ideas and consciousnesses and that kind of exchange information. Then it goes back into new animals. And he says, but there are some animals that are evolved enough and have had such a good life that in that astral dimension, they take on human form and revisit us in dreams.
Bro, that's exactly what you said.
When I read it, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Bean is Jessica's dream man.
He is. And I still have those a lot where I don't know who the fuck it is, but that's so cute. Yeah. Oh, another thing too that's happened in the last week is like, well, one of them a couple of weeks ago, but two different people lately have described watching someone pass away, someone who was very close to them. And both of these people said that the person right before they fucking died said that they saw their pet either like on a hospital bed. And then the other one said literally right before they died, the last person they said was, oh, I see. And they said the dog's name and then they fucking died. And right away I go, that better be how I fucking die. I go, and quite honestly, even if it's like literally not real, even if like it's your brain releasing something in that moment to keep you at your perfect happy state as you passed away and whatever, even if it's like a chemical and it's not really happening and that's not really where I'm going, great. Give me that download, great. Flash it in my head so I die happy, and that's great. I guess we'll find out when it fucking happens.
I always have, and I think a lot of people have this irrational fear that like right as you're about to cash out, like with your last breath, your last thought, like something just totally random jumps into your head. And like the last thing before you leave existence is like, da-na-na-na, no.
That would be actually very funny.
And you're like, oh, it's going to be this. And then you just like, you're out.
No, but I feel like honestly, I know you're just joking, but I feel like honestly, like for the last probably week or several days, your body is starting to like give you like weird things that will soothe you and make everything fine for you.
I think in the best case situations, yes.
Yeah. Because so many people do describe like seeing relatives and like hang out in the room and like going away and then coming back and being like, oh, they're waiting. Like there's almost like an orientation. Like the last few nights where they sleep, they see all their fucking relatives and the relatives are like waiting for them. Like there's way too many cases of that to not be true.
The thing that always interests me, and I mean, obviously, this is something I've lectured and ruminated about and thought about for 30 fucking plus years. The thing that always interests me is like when you go back to, I don't know, like Sumerian, Akkadian, 4,000 years ago, when people first started to write, and for some reason people were like, oh yeah, when you die you become a ghost.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like how did that pop into someone's mind 4,000 or 5,000 years ago? Oh, when you die your body stops, but then you continue to exist.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be, I don't know, but then there was like, I don't know, like, you know, elevated people in society and like rulers and kings and queens and shit. Like maybe it was just like people gassing other people up, like, oh, you're not really going to die. Like you're still going to have power. You're still going to be around. But like, then it wasn't really true. I don't know.
It's just weird because like, if you go back, I think, again, I don't know if he's problematic or not, but there's a guy you can watch on YouTube right now named Irving Finkel. And he's like one of the only people in the world that can actually read like cuneiform, Sumerian, and Akkadian scripts. And he has huge YouTube lectures about like 3,000 and 4,000 year old ghost stories and witch stories, like the magic workers back then and the demons back then, the evil spirits and the good spirits. And it's just one of those things. It's like, so 4,000 years ago, random people who were writing were like, oh yeah, all this stuff is real. Like it's totally accepted. You would go to the doctor, but then you would also go to what we would consider an exorcist. Like you would do both things. The doctor would give you herbs, and then the exorcist would give you like an idol to bury in your backyard.
Yeah, I believe it. I was watching the newest like binge of mine that I'm like obsessed with is this show. It's on Starz, but it's like, you know, Sky TV in like UK.
Yes, I do. I only watch British television.
Yeah, so Sky, they made this series called Mary and George with Julianne Moore and this kid, Nicholas Galitzine. And it's a real story from the 1600s. And it's like, their last name is Villiers. So it's, so there's King James the First at the time. So the story is like, Mary and George are like regular people. She's married rich her whole life, but then the guy that she's currently with passes away, and then they're fucking broke again. So what she's like, and George is like stunning. So she's like, what we're gonna do is basically her master plan was to whore her own son out to King James the First and get them to be rich. Because King James the First was married, but he was like pretty openly gay. Like he had like a gaggle of like beautiful young men that would travel with him and be his like chamber people. So she's like, we're gonna get you up in the ranks. We're gonna get you to be one of these people, and we're gonna fucking take over the universe. So it's a real story, and it goes through like all the stuff that they did, and it's so fucking good. It's like 8 episodes. It's on Starz in the US right now. I, of course, found the like UK stream and finished it all, but the finale here in the US airs this Friday. So if you get Starz to binge it, wait till after May 17th, people listening, and just binge it all in one day. But it's so fucking good. The sets, and I watched all this behind the scenes shit, and they made like all the costumes, all the shoes, all the jewelry. But any fucking way, in that show, this is in the 1600s, there was witchy people, there was fortune tellers,
Yes.
basically psychics, and then there was like people would have you like do spell work and like fucking hex people and all that shit. So that was 1600s. And another thing, people were saying it was historically inaccurate that they were saying the F word a lot, but no, it's not. It's in text and poems from the 1600s, and it's in print from as early as the 1300s, the F word.
Well, there you go.
Isn't that crazy?
1600s were hard times for witches.
Yeah, there's a lot of hanging in this show.
Yeah,
it doesn't take much.
There's maybe like a 60, 70 year gap in the 1600s where you got like 40,000 people killed for witchcraft.
Yeah, but the show is so good and it's so interesting, and it's like hot. There's a lot of hotness.
Oh geez.
But Julianne Moore's like so evil and perfect, and it's so good. I'm gonna watch it again for sure. But this is the funny part that I wanted to tell you specifically was, okay, so she had a lot of kids. She had like 6 kids, right? George was like the most beautiful one who she was going to put forward and like change their lives with him. But one of her other sons was like not all there. And so she's like, how the fuck am I going to marry him off? I'm not going to get a dowry from him because he's whatever. So one of the fucking episodes, they're in a carriage, and he out of nowhere, he goes, I like giraffes. And I was like, he's amazing. And then in another episode, he goes, peacocks are my friends. And I'm like, so basically this guy is me and Teddy. and we wouldn't be able to get married off because we say cute animal stuff out loud all the time.
That frog is great.
I know. I'm like, oh great, it's a good thing it's not the 1600s. We would not be desirable. We would be deemed crazy because we're whimsical. But he really did end up being like, he like gets worse. So it didn't end up working out. But I was like, wait. I'm like, he says stuff like me and Tenny say. He's cute.
Do you know what the average lifespan was in the 1600s in England?
I guess probably like your 40s or 30s.
35.
Yeah. They got like syphilis and shit. They'd get all like stuff that wouldn't kill you now, just little stuff. Dysentery, whatever the fuck.
Well, I mean, if you cut yourself, the chances of you getting an infection because you're walking around on streets full of piss and shit and horse manure and all that insanity.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the people, there was, wait, what the fuck else was going around? Oh, smallpox.
Smallpox, cholera. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Somebody in the show gets syphilis and their nose rots off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They had to wear like a metal nose over their fucking rotted nose.
Yeah, your face would rot off.
Yeah.
Speaking of all that, my dad made me, well, not made me, but I sat next to him the entire time, and my dad and I binged Taboo, the 2017 Tom Hardy 1800s period piece.
I want to watch that. It's been on my watch list for so many years, and I just literally have never started it.
About a guy who has lived in Africa for 12 years and then comes back to England when his father dies. And Tom Hardy thinks he's a shaman and does a whole bunch of witchy, kooky spells and thinks that he can get into people's dreams and kill them and have sex with them. But really, it's all about tea.
Tea?
Yeah, like the tea supply in England and how it gets to England.
And this is a fake story, right? It's not based on, or is it based on historical stuff?
The East India Company is a real company that transported tea all over the place. And, you know, like the prince or king, all that, like that type of stuff is all true, but the story itself is fake. Mm-hmm. Historical fiction, something my dad loves. You'll love Tom Hardy in this.
I love Tom Hardy in fucking everything.
I know, but he's got such a great hat and coat. It's really good.
He's such a stud. And he does not give a fuck. He does not give a fuck about being famous. He does not give a fuck.
And the good thing about him and his character, I don't know if it's a good thing. The good thing is his character's not a hero or a villain. Like what you just said, his character just doesn't give a fuck. Is just doing things.
I like it. I know Tom Hardy's been at the UFC Apex before, like watching the fights. Like, I hope I run into him someday.
Does he sit next to Trump?
No, he don't put up. No, he's not. He doesn't play that shit. Speaking of that, that's another thing I wanted to bring up is in the year of our Lord 2024 that we're living in right now, a real Vanity Fair headline was RFK Jr.'s campaign says the worm that ate part of his brain will not affect his ability to serve as president. That's a real headline. Oh, wait, it gets better. RFK himself tweeted, this is a real tweet. I had to look it up because I thought it was fake, but it's actually real. And it says, I offered to eat 5 more brain worms and still beat President Trump and President Biden in a debate. That's really happening in our world right now.
Yep.
That's a lot.
I don't know. I mean, if I were running for president and I had some kind of parasitic brain invasion, which I think is what Kennedy had.
I think that's what we have.
Is that the name of this episode? Parasitic brain invasion?
Literally.
I don't know if I would have gone in front of people and just said I had brain worms.
No.
I would have maybe found a different way to say it.
Yes. And I saw somebody tweet about it. I forget who it was. I don't even remember if it was one of our friends or if it was not one of our friends, but somebody said like, yo, all it took like 10 years ago to not be deemed fit for presidency was that you couldn't spell potato. And now we have guys with brain worms.
Yeah. Howard Dean wasn't allowed to run for president because he yelled once during an event because he was excited.
I remember that. He was like, whoa!
That was it. And he did that. He did exactly what you just did and was not allowed to run for president.
I remember. It was over. Now we've got, what did you see? Is that, listen, I didn't.
First of all, you know what he had is a real thing.
The brainworm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Millions of people have it. It's like a really bad disease.
Is it, well, did I see a flash of something saying it was hereditary, like he was born with it, or is that fake?
I don't know if it's hereditary or something. I know that it's, again, I am not a doctor and a lot of this is just guessing, but I believe it is a type of like tapeworm.
Got it. That gets to your brain?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. I don't consider that an excuse for how he acts in some of his views. But no, I didn't put enough research into it, but did you, it kind of sounded like it was fake, like AI, like deep fake voice, but maybe it wasn't. What was that thing that Trump said the other day about fucking Silence of the Lambs? And
he said Hannibal Lecter, very, very smart, very
good guy.
Good guy, Hannibal Lecter.
And it was real, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
He was trying to tell a joke. He was trying to tell the joke that Hannibal Lecter says at the end of Silence of the Lambs, I'm having some friends for dinner.
Yeah, why would he talk about that during a political rally?
Who knows?
Unreal. It's unreal that I have to decipher if something like that coming out of a presidential candidate's mouth is real or fake.
I will tell you, though, just quickly to go back to Robert Kennedy's brain tapeworm.
Yep.
Talk about it in a don't say brainworm.
Yeah, don't say brainworm. That could be the title of this episode too.
Don't say brainworm. It would be like, remember how you do, of course you remember, I talk about how I smashed my toe with that huge tank that fell on it, right?
It's one of my least favorite stories of yours, yeah.
I know, but it would be like if I was running for president, and I said one time, everyone should know I had mashed potato toe.
Yeah, why would you? Yeah, there's a time and a place, bro. I know.
But like you could talk about it as a thing, like I hurt myself, there was an accident involved, like there's a way around it. You just don't call it like I had macaroni and cheese toe for a while.
Well, then also you don't get on Twitter and tweet, I'll smash my toe 5 more fucking times.
Right.
Like, no, don't tweet about the brainworm and eating more brainworm.
Very strange.
Anyway, another thing I wanted to tell you about that I got really wrapped up in was this girl is doing this series. And she's like, I forget what her fucking qualifiers are, but she seems smart. I forget what she is, but any fucking way. This girl on TikTok has this long ass series now of videos where she suspects that Jack the Ripper was Edgar Degas, the famous fucking French impressionist. Edgar Degas was Jack the Ripper. And at first it sounds insane, but the more she talks about it, it sounds so real. So she says, he painted the ballerinas and they were really fucking spooky. And most of the women had like weird faces or dead looking faces, or he didn't do enough like detail on their faces, making it seem like he hates women or like they all look the fucking same to him. There's proof that he was around the same places at the same time. He would have been 53 at the time. And then they speculated that Jack the Ripper was a surgeon or knew the human body really well because his cuts were crazy. And like Edgar Degas, like literally studied anatomy and painted perfect and was a sculptor and knew the human body really well. And then, yeah, he wrote like weird alibi letters at the time too. Like people, like big famous people at the time that he would like go out of town and have no fucking reason to write to them. And he'd be like, here's what I'm doing. Like these weird involved like letters, like, why were you doing that? So she's like checked train records and she's like deep dived so hard and she thinks that he could be Jack the Ripper. And I think it's so fucking interesting.
I don't know what I think about Jack the Ripper.
I know, I don't either. There's been so many theories at this point, but it would be so crazy though that it would be somebody that's already kind of famous and already like outwardly like not just somebody, because you picture it like somebody in the shadows or somebody that wasn't like a public figure. And it would be crazy if they were just like out in the middle, you know, out there and people didn't see it or put it together.
There's still a big part of me that thinks that like it might have been multiple murderers.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
You know, someone reads a newspaper, realizes they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Now you've got a bunch of unconnected murders that look connected.
Yeah.
And then that sends you all bunched down blind alleys, you know what I mean? Looking for who it is.
I know. I don't know if we'll ever know. And I'm pretty sure the only evidence they have is like degraded as fuck by now. So
yeah, I don't think we'll ever know.
No, I don't think so either, but she's pretty cool and her video is pretty interesting. Oh, her name, you guys, if you want to look it up, her name is Kiki Schirr. So it's Kiki, and then the last name is Schirr. And her videos, I literally, there's like 20 fucking videos in a row. All of them, I'm like, I see it. I'm like, I see it.
The only videos I watch that are like 20 long start with someone going, that raccoon is back. And then
Just watching surveillance footage of a crazy animal outside. Did you see that video I posted on our Instagram of that javelina stealing a Happy Meal?
I did.
Yes. Let all the nuisance of crazy animals outside steal all the things that they want to steal.
They're doing the good work.
They are doing the good work. I think that's it. Do you have anything else? I mean, I have other stuff, but I'm just going to wait because I'm fucking tired and we talked about all of the things. Nice creaky chair.
Thanks.
I wonder if that's going to show up in the episode.
I think that's it. I don't think I have anything. Next episode, I'll be able to announce a date and place. It'll probably be announced on Twitter and Instagram before the next episode drops, but my Chicago event.
Well, we already put it in the Patreon. So if you're a Patreon, you know about it. And if you want to know about it, you should join the Patreon because it's in there because they get secrets before anybody else gets secrets.
And they get presents.
And they get presents. I know we've been sending out a lot of presents and they're getting something else soon too. Some of them.
Yep.
It's patreon.com/what's up weirdo.
SAS. What's up weirdo?
Yes. .sas.org.brainworm. We do giveaways in there. We tell secrets. And that's how that supports the making of the podcast and all the good things.
And once a month I do 10-10-10, where I just sit and go crazy with all the patrons.
Yeah, if you've ever wanted to pick Tenny's brain or ask him questions, literally he answers everything. Listen, let me bring this up too, because I watched it back and one of the questions that one of the Patreons asked you during 10-10-10 was, what is your favorite fucking popsicle? And you said banana popsicles, which that's not real. That's not real.
Banana popsicles are real. And I said it was going to be a controversial answer, and they are the best popsicles.
Who has ever fucking had a banana popsicle, and what are they? Are they like the ones in the plastic, like the icy ones?
Yeah, they're like a regular popsicle. They're just yellow and banana flavored.
Nobody's ever had. I literally in my life have never seen or heard of a banana popsicle. I think you're crazy.
I'm going to find you a banana popsicle and it's going to change your life because they don't taste like bananas.
I don't believe that it exists. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, is he talking about something where you like put a banana on a stick and put like chocolate over it and it's just a fucking banana? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So you're gonna have to show me.
It's just a yellow popsicle.
I don't believe it. And then you had another thing in there where people asked you what you prefer, cake or pie, and you were adamant about pie, and I'm on the cake side.
Oh, you're so wrong.
Dude, nothing beats a piece of like dark flourless chocolate on chocolate cake, period.
No, vanilla ice cream on a piece of warm apple pie, the best.
Listen, that was another thing you kept doing there in the 10-10-10. You said a piece of pie with a piece of ice cream on it. You kept calling it a piece of ice cream. I'm like, it's a fucking scoop.
Piece of ice cream.
Who says a piece of ice cream?
Obviously, fucking I do.
You're insane. I'm like, I don't know what he's saying. That's why I'm not on those. You're on there all by yourself and you can say whatever the fuck you want. So if you
I
guys
can
want
say piece of ice cream. I can talk about having macaroni toe, anything I want.
whatever you guys want. If you guys want to join the Patreon and ask Tenny his crazy questions, go ahead. I'm not in there.
Thank God.
Your time. I was thinking though it would be cute if I did 10-10 Toad one day and it was just me and Toad, but
Or just a live cam of Toad sleeping.
yeah, literally. What is your thing? I don't need to do it. Oh, I am going to make a video of our Penhurst Paracon time, though. So if
It's coming up this weekend.
I know we'll be at Penhurst Asylum emceeing the event, and we have zero details, and we have no idea what we're doing, but we're going to be there.
I'm going to do whatever I want.
I'm going to literally do whatever I want. I already feel it happening.
I'm doing whatever I want.
I'll walk around with Toad and do whatever the fuck I want. So
I'm going to walk around with my toe and do whatever I
I'm
want.
not talking about your fucking toe. It's healed. This was forever ago.
All right, I'm done.
I'm done too. I'm so fucking tired.
All right, well, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Good work today, buddy.
I know, good work today. We fucking crushed it.
We did crush it.
Oh, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks for being my friend, buddy. Now I got to go and dump some fried rice in a pot with some chicken broth and add soy sauce to it so my dad can have dinner.
I already ate the rest of my sandwich that my dad got us. Did you eat yours?
Not yet. I'm saving it for tonight.
I feel like I need more food.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Good job.
Great job. Great job, guys. Okay, bye.